Alright, let's do the TikTok problem of the week. You can find this problem on the website, and now let's start by reading it. A child is pulling a box using a rope as shown in the figure below. A tension is applied to the box so that it's moving in the forward direction along the x-axis. The mass of the box is 3 kilograms and the tension on the rope is 60 newtons. The angle between the rope and the horizontal axis is 30 degrees. Mark all the other forces and find the net forces along the x and y directions, and only set up the tables and find the net forces along the x and y directions. Now, I drew a small diagram here. Here is the box, and here is the rope attached to it, forming a 30-degree angle counterclockwise to the x-axis. Now, here is Fn and Fk, the two contact forces. Knowing that Fn is perpendicular to the contact force, you can see right here, and Fk is opposite of the direction the object is moving in. So the object is moving in the forward direction, so that means Fk has to act in the opposite direction, going this way. And here's Fg going downwards. Now I'm going to compress this all into a force diagram. Here is just a little ball here representing the box. Now I'm going to draw the x-axis, which I'm going to use. Here is my Ft with an angle 30 degrees counterclockwise to the positive x-axis. And now I'm going to draw Fg and Fk. Here's Fg. I'm going to use different colors. Here's Fk. And here's Fn. Now, using logic, we can find out that Fn is 90 degrees, Fk is 180 degrees, and Fg is 270 degrees. Now, let's bring our attention to the x table right here. So here's Ftx right here. Ft, the angle it makes with the surface is 30 degrees. So Ft cosine 30 degrees. Since it's already given that Ft is 60, we can simply plug that in and get 60 cosine 30. You could say that cosine 30 is root 3 over 2 or 0.866. But if you just plug this in your calculator in the degree mode, you'd end up with 51.96 newtons. Now here's Fnx. Cosine 90 is 0, so you just end up with 0. And here, Fk cosine 180. Cosine 180 is negative 1, so you'd end up with negative Fk. Fg cosine 270, like that. F cosine 270 is 0, and you'd end up with 0 for Fgx. Now, here's the F net in the x direction. Here are the total forces we have. So we'd end up with just 51.96 minus Fk. And that's it. Now, let me bring your attention to the y table. Here's Fty, which is Ft sine 30, same angle. But however, now we're just using sine. Sine 30 is 0.5, and since we already know that Ft is 60, 60 times 0.5, we'd end up with 30. Here, F and y, same angles as before, but now sine. Sine 90 is 1, we'd end up with Fn. Fky, sine 180 is 0, and Fk times 0 is 0. Now, let me bring you attention to Fg. So, the angle it makes is 270, and sine 270 is negative 1, so we'd have negative Fg. But wait, we could do more. Fg is mg, mass times gravity. So we'd end up with negative mg. And since we're already given the mass, and we know it happens on Earth, gravity being 9.8 and the mass being 3, we just plug them in and do negative 3 times 9.8. Put that in your calculator, and you'd end up with negative 29.4. Now let's do F net in the y direction. We'd have 30 plus Fn minus 29.4. These two are like terms, so we can just cancel them out, combine them, and we get Fn plus 0.6. And that's it for both the forces. And that's how you answer the problem. Thank you.